The number one question I hear from health coaches struggling to build their business is always some version of how do I get more clients? The real problem is deeper than that. What they should be asking is, how do I market my services effectively? Marketing and sales are the biggest challenges for about 60% of health coaches. Most of us went into this field to help people transform their health, not become marketing experts. We spent years learning about nutrition and wellness, but zero time on business fundamentals. But here's what's crazy. Even when coaches do focus on marketing, they often sabotage themselves in another way. They seriously undervalue their services and the work they do. I've seen amazing, well-credentialed, well-expertise coaches charging fast food prices for services that literally change and save lives. So your pricing strategy should reflect your expertise and your results that you deliver, not your comfort zone. But here's the most shocking thing I've discovered. The vast majority of struggling health coaches don't even have a clear business plan. No wonder they're stuck. Without a roadmap, how can you possibly know if you're making any great progress? So before you ask, how do I get more clients? Ask yourself if you've built that solid foundation first at the root of your business. Because the clients will come when your business is actually ready to receive them. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, but also when the teacher is ready, the student appears. So let's dive into those 7 business struggles I wish I'd been warned about. And more importantly, how do we address them? Number 1, how do I market my services effectively? All marketing is, hey, ideal client, got this ideal client problem? Want this dream come true solution? Call to action. So you need to speak to the ideal client's problem and their dream come true, and you must have a roadmap as to what to do next so that you can lead them to the next phase from stranger to longtime trusted raving fan client. You must have a roadmap. Number 2, in order to have effective marketing, the second thing you need is to know your niche. That's the only way you can answer the questions. Who is your ideal client? What is their problem? What is their dream come true? But how do you find your niche? You may feel like you can help people with lots of things and you can't pick just one. Or alternatively, you may feel like an imposter and not qualified to help anyone with anything. So that third struggle is imposter syndrome and lack of confidence. And I've seen that in medical doctors and people with many degrees, as well as that newbie health coach without any degrees whatsoever. Thus, the importance of a purpose-driven expert niche and knowing that there is gold in your story. So grab a pen and answer these 7 questions so that we can mine your story right here, right now, and see if we can get to the root of your purpose-driven expert niche where you are naturally confident in that can combat that imposter syndrome. So ask yourself these 7 questions. Number 1, when have I felt the most alive? What activities do you do or research, even if people are not paying you? What is that? What do you love to do? Number 2, what do people say you are good at? What are you good at? What do you know you're good at? And what do people say that you're good at? Write down some of those. Feel free to pause this video and then work along with me as we workshop this. Number 3, what are people already asking you for advice with? And then who are they? Who is asking you? Who's already coming to you for help? And what are they asking you for help with? What do you have a track record with? Number 4, when was your rock bottom, last straw, pivotal moment in your life? You will probably have had a series of them, but what was that one that is the first one that comes to mind? And let's start there. It could have been a divorce, it could have been a move, it could have been a death in the family, it could have been a diagnosis. What was it that was it and we had to change? This happened, that was your rock bottom. And then what was happening just before that rock bottom moment? What was the demographic? How old were you? Were you married? Did you have children? Where were you living? Were you working? What was the situation before the rock bottom moment? And number 5, what changed to get you on the other side of it? So presumably this was a rock bottom moment. You changed and things are better now. Maybe not all better, but certainly a lot better. So did you change a diet? Did you get rid of something? Did you add something in? What was that? What changed? You met a doctor, you read a book, tried something, and that worked. Number 6, what are the great results after you did that? So after you changed things, you had your rock bottom moment, you changed some things. What is the after picture here? What are the great results that happened after that? You got into a remission, your rash improved, your mood improved, your weight improved, the relationships improved, your confidence improved. What happened? And then lastly, number 7, who do you think you might want to help, maybe, sorta, kinda? So I just want you to tiptoe into your niche. We're not going to like nail it down, force it to be that, nobody else. Who is it that you might want to help? And it could be, a lot of times, does not have to be, it could be your former self. So that person who just went through that rock bottom moment, sometimes that's it. And it's right like on the nose, exactly that person, your version 5 or 10 years ago or a year ago. Sometimes it's not that, but the same skill set that allowed you to overcome this issue can be helpful for people to overcome this other issue where you still needed the same strength, resilience, mindset, but maybe it's not about this remission and maybe it's about weight loss, which was also something that you know a thing or two about and that everybody is coming to you asking for help with. So it's a blend of that. This will start to get you closer to who your ideal client is. Now, once we have an idea of who your niche is, how do we actually get paying clients? So that fourth struggle is awareness. No one can become your client without first becoming aware of you. In the sea of 60 million wellness practitioners and without a hospital, clinic, or gym, how do people know that you exist? So I'm a big fan of educational marketing. Teach about your niche in ways that will attract your ideal client. How do we attract their attention to convert them into paying clients? So once we know people know that we exist, the fifth struggle is creating a process to attract leads. That would be a lead magnet and a funnel. You may have heard some of these. Now, this can be super simple, and it just has to have you have a process to filter through all of the people that know you exist into attracting some people's attention who want to give you their contact information in exchange for something of value that could potentially serve them. So a lead is just out of that sea of people that now know you exist, and you talk about your niche, about the problems that you solve and the dream come trues that you deliver. In that group, some people don't care about what you're talking about, but some people will raise their hand and kind of say, hey, I'm interested in that topic. I have that problem. I want that dream come true solution. And so when you offer something of value, a questionnaire, a diagnostic assessment, something like that, that is on that topic, or even a workshop, and they have to register for that, and they give you their contact information in exchange for that valuable first step piece, that's a lead. And that's the next step of taking someone from stranger to aware to a lead and bring them into the next phase, which is a prospect. And a prospect is someone on a call with you, a sales call with you. So the best way to find out about where they are at and what they're actually struggling with is to get on a call, which leads to the sixth struggle health coaches have. And that's, how do we take these people who are interested in you and what you do and convert them into paying clients? How do you ask for money without being salesy? Having a heart-centered diagnostic process has you show up and lead with love and make the best recommendations for the person, even if that recommendation is not you. But when it is you, you know exactly what to say and do to lead to paying clients. And when you do that diagnostic process, you can feel authentic and heart-centered in truly looking at, here's their problem, here's where they're wanting to go. Do I know how to help them? If not, by all means, have a heart and, to the best of your ability, direct them to the best of your ability into someone or something or somewhere that could help them. But if they have this problem and they want this dream come true solution, and you know how to get them there, that is in your wheelhouse and scope of practice, then by all means, have a heart and offer to solve that. And knowing exactly how to have that conversation is an important piece that in determining your success. Then the last and seventh struggle, most health coaches never even succeed enough to even get to the point that this seventh one is a problem, which is a problem because we want more of you. The reason I do these calls is I want more of you, getting you and your healing gifts out there, is they quit after having spent years and thousands of dollars getting nowhere, and they just give up. But about 5% of health coaches actually do manage to get paying clients, but they're following a problematic business model or no business model. So too often, health coaches, when they're coming to me and they're telling me what their best idea is for a plan of what they're going to offer, they will usually say, I will charge this much an hour or this many dollars for these many sessions. And I already know they're not going to reach their goal, not without burning out. And the only reason I know that is because after I left my 25-year medical career to become a health coach, I certainly knew that additional certifications was not the problem. I at least knew that. But I had a flawed business model, which is taught by 95% of people out there and is fine if you're not trying to earn a six-figure income. But for me, I needed to earn $100,000 to be at my poverty line as I was trying to leave my medical practice, which had a lot of baseline expenses. Just even if I wasn't receiving any income, I still had to have malpractice insurance, license fees, college dues. There's a lot of expenses to run a medical practice. So I had to earn at least 100,000 to pay for our baseline, I'm going to call our poverty level expenses. And that was no eating out for 7 years, no vacations for 7 years. And we even downsized our house twice in order for me to leave my lucrative medical career and take this health coaching practice and make a go of it because it meant that much to me. So I needed it to at least earn $100,000, which is a lot to ask of a little health coaching practice. So most people don't know they even need this because they're not trying to earn that level of income. But I've noticed recently there is a trend as more and more people are wanting to replace a six-figure income or retire a spouse who might have a six-figure income. And more people are wanting that. Plus, if it's possible, that's just a reflection of the impact that you can make. And so why not? But if you're charging $1,000 or $1,200 for 10 or 12 sessions, you can't ever get there. Because if you are charging $1,000 and you want to earn 100,000, you need 100 clients and you will burn out. 100 patients, no sweat. I could see that in the hospital in a week. You might be able to see that in the gym in a week, but 100 health coach clients holding space for 50 people in this half of the year and 50 people in that half of the year, you will burn out. You can't get there. And even if you burned yourself out, got the 100 clients, when do you find the time to find 100 clients? You got the 100 clients. Even when you get there, there's a limit. There's a limit on your time. There just is. And when we're trading time for money, there's also a limit on your income and impact. So for me, when I was leaving my medical practice, I had to throw all of that out the window because I knew I was never going to be able to do that. So what I had to do with is instead of just wanting people to spend time with me, because that's not really what I wanted, I switched the business model into focusing on delivering excellent results. And at the Health Professional Academy, where I walk clients from zero income to six and multiple six figures and beyond impact and income, excellence is our strategy. What we focus on is delivering excellent results. Then it's a win-win all the way around. So our clients now that are reaching, our health coaches that are reaching $100,000 work on average 3 days a week, not long days, and they get to work with who they want, when they want, how they want. But they are not trading time for money. They have a business model that focuses on what do they need to do to get that client excellent results. That leads to referrals, which leads to word of mouth, which leads to momentum, making it easier and easier. Most people in this business plan that I teach, you're going to help for free. I give free copies of my books generously. And in fact, I'm going to put a link to these books down below that you can get that. And there's more detail on these struggles and how to overcome them in there. So definitely get a copy. So a lot of people you will help for free. This video is free for you. So most people you'll help for free. Some people will come across your free information and say, that's really good, but I want more help. And some people you will work with for years. So Sherry and Connie and Martita, these are some of our many six-figure health coaches that I'm still working with years later. Not because it didn't work, because it did. And Martita started from zero and has helped over 350 clients now, has a phenomenal practice, heart-centered. These people deliver real results. And when you have this sort of business model where you only maybe need, instead of 100 clients in a year, 20 clients in a year, and they're not charging $5,000, by the way, common misunderstanding. We're going to help most people for free, some people for years. 20 new people can have you at six figures when we implement business plans that I teach my clients to do, because I had to figure it out the hard way. And it's really about focusing on working smarter, not harder. I remember when Karen came to us and she was going for her national boards. Now, she was one of those people who had clients already and was earning $40,000 already as a health coach. So she was working out of a natural medicine clinic and they were sending her referrals. Some of you would be go, oh my goodness, that is my dream. If I could just get clients, somebody could send me clients, 40,000, that's all I want. Well, the reason Karen came, what she said is, I just can't keep slogging away. I just want to go for a walk. So it's not actually the dream. And what happened is when she went to the national board exams, because she was taking her practice to the next level, she goes for the national boards. She meets another woman from Montana. And this woman has 5 kids, married to a farmer, lives in a small town, population like 1,200 in the middle of nowhere. And this woman is making $100,000 as a health coach and working not long days and has no special advantage. And she's like, what does she know that I don't know? And that person that she met was Rachel. And Rachel was the first person that I helped to reach $100,000 in her first year. And while I helped Rachel, I wrote this book, Six Figure Health Coach, reverse engineering what I'd done for myself and now applying it to someone else. And when Rachel started, I didn't know if I could actually help her. Could I help this woman in Montana with 5 kids get there? I wasn't sure. But May 2020, 5 kids in all, she was able to reach 100,000, now has a $500,000 business. That's what can happen when you're not trading time for money. Most health coaches don't even get to the first client. 95% have no paying clients. So they don't even get to the point to know about this 7th struggle. But a few of you do have clients and you're working really hard, like I did, not realizing no matter how hard you work, if you are charging by the hour or by the session, you can't ever get to $100,000 income, and you can't do it without burnout. If you get there, you will be burnt out. My clients often have underlying health challenges. That's why they became a health coach. They cannot afford their health to suffer by burning out because they will trigger all of those things that they work so hard to get on the other side of. So that 7th business struggle, it is a doozy. And it is one of the reasons, which is a total unlock for our clients who well over 95% have 0 paying clients when they start and then able to reach 100,000 after without burning out, getting to work with who they want, when they want, how they want, from where they want, that location freedom. So business plan is a key strategy that you're going to want to know about. So you're going to want to ask yourself, how do I have a business plan that allows me to reach my goals without burning out so I can have a sustainable, scalable business? That business plan that will deliver excellent results for your clients, and it's not built on trading time for money. And when you deliver excellent results, like our 6-figure health coach Sherry did, word gets out. One of her clients referred 10 more. That only happens if you're really good. And that is why all of our six-figure health coaches have been able to do that with zero paid advertising, which is pretty much unheard of in the coaching industry. So not a single paid ad. They get to keep their income. So what started out as how do I get more clients is really about number one, marketing effectively by carving out number two, your purpose driven expert niche and working in your zone of genius that combats number three, imposter syndrome and lack of confidence, and then using educational marketing in your niche to attract attention, increase awareness, which is number four, and then number five, attract leads by giving something of value in exchange for their contact information, and then number six, having heart-centered diagnostic sales conversations to invite qualified people into your program, and then number seven, ensure you have a business plan based on your delivering excellent results to your clients instead of trading time for money so that you can avoid burnout and create a thriving, soul-satisfying health coaching practice that won't burn you out and that you absolutely love. So these are 7 things that I wish I knew and is a perfect answer to how do I get clients. So now that you know a little bit about your niche, how about checking out this video on how to find your first clients? Be good for you.